Hey guys! Today is officially my 9-month dread anniversary / update thing. So these have been on my head for 9 whole months. Which I actually completely forgot that today was my 9-month anniversary thingy until I was like walking home from school and I was like, oh my god, isn't today like 9 months? And yeah it is. And then I was all like, I have to make a video, but my battery's at 3%, so I'm going to have to charge that first, and I had to sit here and wait for it to charge, and wanted to do it before my dad got home, because I don't like making videos with my dad home, because then I feel like I'm talking to myself, because I kind of am talking to myself. Anyways, so they're 9 months, they don't change anymore, they really don't, like, they look the same as they did last month and the month before. The only thing I've noticed that they've grown a little. You wouldn't really be able to tell though because the extensions had to shrink. So my actual hair is grown, but the extensions shrank. So they're like the same. But yeah, I have noticed that they've grown though because one of my dreads is 2 dreads combined because it's like, okay, there are 2 dreads, right? And then I took this dread and I like put it under in the root and like went like that. So then they're like that, and like sticking out, but like together at the root. Like I looped it in, and but it used to be like right at the root. But ever since I did that, there is now like this much space between where they're connected and my root. So I know that my hair's grown like that much. Yeah, I don't really have anything to update though, cause like once you pass like the first stages, the first few months of your dreads and when they're like maturing and like shrinking up and like getting loopy and changing and all that, once you pass that stage, like your dreads kind of just stay the same, like nothing changes. And they really haven't been. Although, wait, I'm trying to like find some. I had one that was kind of looking a little funny, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. It's one at the front. It was at the front somewhere, I do believe. Which one was it? Okay, well, my point is, I'm trying to find a certain dread, but the point of me showing you that dread was that they do change a little bit, like at the ends, like the extensions. I am noticing that they are changing a little. They are getting a little bit loopy and stuff, like bumps and turns and stuff like that. And one actually like went in a little zigzag pattern, which was kind of cool. But I guess now it's not anymore because I've tried to find it and it was at the front, but it's not there anymore. So I guess the zigzags kind of just work themselves out because that's what dreads do. They just work themselves out, and eventually they just straighten themselves out, and they're just cool. And some of the ends are like curling upwards, and that's just the dread trying to. I can't think of the word. That's just the dread trying to blunt itself, and dreads do actually eventually blunt themselves. You don't have to blunt the ends, like, because you know some people when they have dreads, the ends are like that almost, like, but not with the loop, like they're flat. Well, dreads do that to themselves. Yeah, they just eventually blunt themselves. I mean, if you're impatient and you don't want to wait, then you can go ahead and blunt it yourself, but I find with my experience anyway, they unblunt themselves if you do it yourself, so you kind of just have to wait for them to do it themselves. Oh, okay. Miss Simmons, this is for you. You said you wanted a video on dreadlocks, and I'm going to show you how to make a dread. Take my hat off. I'm just going to make a dread in my bangs. I'm going to take it out, obviously. There's 3 different ways you can make dreads. Oh, well, there's actually like tons of ways you can make dreads, but I'm most familiar with 3 of them. Which is the twist and rip, neglect, and backcombing. Backcombing is like, you backcomb a section of hair. Like, you take your comb and it's like teasing, and then it'll be all fluffy, and then you backcomb it again. And then you just keep backcombing it until it's like a little baby dread. And because dreads mature as they grow. Like, they tighten up. They shrink up. It's like knots in your hair. Well, it is knots in your hair. And like, this is how I always describe it. it's like, this is the dread, okay? When you first make it, it's long, like this, but it's also really loose. And then as it grows, the knots, they're tightening. And so they tighten, but they shrink. And that's why when you make dreads, they will shrink up, they'll shorten, and that's just because, but they'll also feel a lot tighter. So when you use the back combing method, they're very fluffy and very loose at first, but then after like 3-4 months, they will eventually tighten up. And neglect is you just neglect your hair, you stop brushing altogether. You still wash your hair, you don't brush at all. And eventually knots will form in your hair, and eventually they will turn into dreadlocks. That method takes a really long time, like a year, for them to actually start to look like real dreads. Because you're not starting it with anything, you're just letting it do its thing. So it takes longer for the hairs to, you know, kind of knot up together. But I use twist and rip. I'm gonna take my little section of hair. Excuse the roots. Okay. So you have your section of hair, and I'm obviously not going to leave it in because I don't want a dreadlock in the middle of my face. And you twist it, but not a lot. You don't want like a twist in your hair. You twist it, and then you take the end and you pull it apart. And you will actually feel like the hair kind of tangling. And then you twist it a little bit more, and then you pull. And then you just keep doing that. And that's what a dreadlock looks like when you first make it. See the difference? Yeah, they stick up, and they look very fuzzy and horrible, and I'm going to take this out now. They don't look good when you first make them, and they're very, very easy to take out when you first make them. Obviously, as you can see, I'm just doing it with my fingers. But you just leave them alone, and they knot up themselves, and they tighten, and they end up looking like real dreadlocks eventually. I mean, my hair looks like real dreads, and that's how I started them. Ooh. I wouldn't want to try brushing out a dreadlock on my head with my fingers now, though. I don't think it would work out very well. There's like hair all over my bed now. No big deal. Anyways, so my journalism teacher just wanted to see that. So yeah. But yeah, so that's my 9-month dread update. Really nothing has changed, like I said. Like, there's not much to say. I just it's cool, they're 9 months old, I've had them for 9 months, and I guess the one in the back of my head, God, how old would it be? It was 6 months. I think it's a year and 3 months, but like, don't quote me on that, because I haven't been paying attention. Yeah, the one in the back of my head that I kept from my last set, it's like a year and 3 months, I think, around that. What's 12 plus, wait, just let me do some math in my head right now. Yes, a year and 3 months, that's what they are. It is, the one in the back of my head. It is a year and 3 months. I got it right! Sorry, this video is kind of random. I didn't really have much to say, because there hasn't really been much changes, like I said. I'm still washing my hair like once every 4 days, which some people may go, ew, but like, it's actually really, it's not good for your hair to wash it very often, just saying. Oh, do you want to see the back of my head? I'll show you the back of my head. I guess I have to take my hat off again, don't I? These are my babies! And this one is a year and 3 months. Alright, I have to end this video because my battery's probably dying, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll update you in 10 months, and you know I'm gonna have other videos, so